Hello students, welcome to our APS classes, and as all we know that this is our foundation course. And dear students, in our today's video we will discuss about the SSC CGL syllabus for session 2022, and this is our tier 2, and we have already discussed tier 1 syllabus for the SSC CGL एग्जाम फॉर सेशन मार्च 2022। जैसे कि मैंने उसमें बताया था आपको कि जो SSC CGL एग्जाम है इट इज डिवाइडेड इनटू 4 सेक्शंस, ठीक है। 4 टीयर्स में डिवाइड है, टीयर 1, टीयर 2, टीयर 3 एंड टीयर 4। टीयर 1 हमने इससे पहले जो हमारी प्रीवियस वीडियो थी उसमें हमने डिस्कस कर लिया था। उस टीयर 1 में जो रिलेटेड सिलेबस है, सिलेबस का पैटर्न क्या रहेगा, टोटल नंबर ऑफ क्वेश्चंस कितने रहेंगे, क्वेश्चंस के मार्क्स कितने रहेंगे और टाइम अलॉटेड जो होगा वो कितना रहेगा। आज जो हम डिस्कस करेंगे आज की वीडियो में वो हम डिस्कस करेंगे टीयर 2 का सिलेबस रिगार्डिंग द एसएससी, दैट इज स्टाफ सिलेक्शन कमीशन अंडर कैंडिडेट ग्रेजुएट लेवल फॉर सेशन 2022 के बारे में डिस्कस करेंगे। So let us start with our SSC CGL syllabus 2022 for tier 2. So after the preliminary exam has been conducted, it will be necessary to gear up for the tier 2 exam of the SSC CGL 2022. Exam. The main exam will be conducted online and it is an objective multiple choice exam. कल भी मैंने बताया था कि जो मेन एग्जाम है it will be conducted, that is online and it is an objective multiple choice exam. This year the tier 2 and tier 3 exams will be conducted on the same day. इस बार जो ध्यान देने योग्य बात है कि टीयर 2 और टीयर 3 का एग्जाम है, इट विल बी कंडक्टेड ऑन द सेम डे पे कंडक्टेड होंगे टीयर 2 और टीयर 3 का एग्जाम। द मेजर सेक्शंस आस्क्ड इन एसएससी सीजीएल टीयर 2 एग्जाम आर क्वांटिटेटिव एप्टीट्यूड। अब जो ध्यान देना है बेटे आपको वो ये ध्यान देना है कि जो मेजर सेक्शंस हैं, मेजर सेक्शंस, रिमेंबर वन थिंग बेटा, जो मेजर सेक्शंस है हमारे that asked in SSC CGL exam regarding the tier 2 exam, वो कौन कौन से? क्वांटिटेटिव एप्टीट्यूड, सेकंड जो रहेगा बेटे दैट इज इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज, थर्ड जो रहेगा बेटे इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज एंड कॉम्प्रीहेंशन का है, and comprehension, and next is statistics, general studies, that is finance and economics. So let us have a look at the SSC CGL syllabus 2022 tier 2 exam pattern and syllabus. So here let us start with our SSC CGL tier 2 exam pattern. So there are 4 sections in the tier 2 exam. In SSC CGL tier 2 paper, namely वो कौन से? Quantitative ability, second one is English language, third one is comprehension, fourth one is statistics and general studies, and in general studies finance and economics. So for which the pattern has been discussed below. So this is the pattern for the tier 2 exam. There are 4 sections, and in the sections the main is that is the quantitative ability. After that, how many questions are there in this section, number of questions, what is the total what are the total marks in these 4 sections, and what is the time allotted for each section. So first our quantitative ability, that is English language and comprehension. First is the quantitative ability. इसमें जो नंबर ऑफ क्वेश्चंस रहेंगे दैट इज 100 क्वेश्चंस, टोटल मार्क्स जो रहेंगे 100 क्वेश्चंस के दैट इज 200 मार्क्स, हर एक क्वेश्चन के 2 मार्क्स होंगे, टोटल 100 क्वेश्चंस हैं। तो आपको टोटल 100 क्वेश्चंस के 2 मार्क्स रहेंगे, तो टोटल जो नंबर अलॉटेड होंगे इस सेक्शन के लिए वो रहेंगे 200 मार्क्स, और जो इसमें टाइम अलॉटेड होगा क्वांटिटेटिव एबिलिटी के लिए दैट इज ऑफ 2 आवर्स। सेकेंड इज इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज एंड कॉम्प्रीहेंशन, इसमें भी नंबर ऑफ क्वेश्चन जो रहेंगे दैट इज 200 क्वेश्चंस इन इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज एंड कॉम्प्रीहेंशन। टोटल मार्क्स जो रहेंगे इसमें दैट इज ऑफ 200 मार्क्स, दैट मीन्स each question carries 1 marks, and if there are 200 questions then the total comes out to be 200 marks. Time allotted for this section is again of 2 hours. Next section is statistics. Number of questions जो रहेंगे statistics में वो रहेंगे 100 questions. Total marks जो रहेंगे इसमें 200 marks रहेंगे, हर एक question का 2 marks होंगे, total 100 questions होंगे, तो इस तरह से total marks जो रहेंगे section के वो रहेंगे 200 marks. टाइम जो रहेगा दैट इज ऑफ 2 आवर्स। लास्ट सेक्शन जो है आपका टियर 2 एग्जाम का दैट इज जनरल स्टडीज फाइनेंस एंड इकोनॉमिक्स। जनरल स्टडीज फाइनेंस एंड इकोनॉमिक्स एंड द नंबर ऑफ क्वेश्चंस इज 100 क्वेश्चंस, टोटल मार्क्स इज ऑफ 200 मार्क्स एंड टाइम अलॉटेड फॉर द सेक्शन इज 2 आवर्स। Hence the total questions including these 4 sections is of 500 questions. And the total marks for these 4 sections is 600 marks, and the time allotted for these 4 sections is of 8 hours. So this is the syllabus regarding the tier 2 exam pattern, for which the pattern has been discussed below, and this pattern is divided into 4 sections. Section 1 is the quantitative ability, section 2 is the English language and comprehension, section 3 is the statistics, and section 4 is general studies, that is finance and economics. Next is SSC CGL tier 2 syllabus. First is quantitative ability. सबसे पहला जो हमारा सेक्शन है tier 2 एग्जाम का regarding the SSC CGL exam for session 2022 is the quantitative ability. और इस क्वांटिटेटिव एबिलिटी में जो हमारे टोटल क्वेश्चंस रहेंगे बेटे वो रहेंगे आपके 100 क्वेश्चंस। टोटल डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन ऑफ मार्क्स जो रहेगा बेटे वो रहेगा आपका 200 मार्क्स का, और जो टाइम अलॉटेड रहेगा क्वांटिटेटिव एबिलिटी के लिए वो रहेगा 2 आवर्स का। तो जो मेन फोकस है सेक्शन का बेटे इज टू चेक द कैंडिडेट्स नॉलेज, दैट इज क्वांटिटेटिव एबिलिटी, एंड अकॉर्डिंग टू दिस सेक्शन the main focus of this section, that is quantitative ability, is check the knowledge of the candidate in terms of the appropriate use of numbers and number sense of the candidate. That means in real way the main focus of this section is to check the candidate's knowledge in terms of the appropriate use of numbers and number sense of the candidate. Though the section is also asked in this tier 1 exam, ये जो section है आपका quantitative ability का, this section is also asked in the tier 1 exam. Tier 1 exam. However, the level and type of the questions will be designed differently. है तो जो आपका ये section जो है quantitative ability का, it is also asked in the tier 1 exam. But जो इसमें आपका level है and type of questions will be designed differently. इसमें जो लेवल है क्वेश्चंस का या फिर जो टाइप ऑफ क्वेश्चंस है टियर 2 एग्जाम्स के, दैट शुड बी टोटली डिफरेंशिएबल या डिफरेंटली एंड स्लाइटली मॉडरेट देन द फर्स्ट स्टेज, और ये स्लाइटली थोड़े से मॉडरेट है एज कंपेयर टू द फर्स्ट स्टेज. सो कैंडिडेट्स मस्ट बकल अप देयर रिप्रेशन विद द टॉपिक्स लिस्टेड बिलो. इस तरह से जो कैंडिडेट्स हैं दे मस्ट बकल अप देयर रिप्रेशन विद द टॉपिक्स दैट आर लिस्टेड बिलो. First topic is computation of whole numbers. Second one is decimals, fractions, the relationships between numbers, percentage, ratio and proportion. Next is square roots, averages, interest, profit and loss, discount, partnership business, mixture and allegations, time and distance, and the last one is time and work. Time and work. This is the last topic. After that, time and distance. Time and distance. Mixture and allegations. mixture and allegation, discount, profit and loss, all these are the topics under the quantitative ability. Next is basic algebraic identities of school algebra and elementary surds, graphs of linear equations, triangle and its various kinds of the centers, congruence and similarity of the triangles, circles and its chords, tangents, angles subtended by chords of circle, common tangents to two or more circles, triangle, quadrilaterals, regular polygons, right prism, right circular cone, right circular cylinder, sphere, hemisphere, rectangular parallel left, a regular right pyramid with the triangular or square base, and the last one is trigonometric ratio. Degree and radian measures, standard identities. Next is standard identities के बाद जो next आएगा बेटे, that is complementary angles, heights and distances, histogram, frequency polygon, bar diagram and pie chart. Next is SSC CGL Tier 2 syllabus, that is English language and comprehension. पहला जो फेज रहा वो रहा क्वांटिटेटिव एबिलिटी का, जिसमें टोटल 100 क्वेश्चंस होंगे. टोटल डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन ऑफ मार्क्स जो रहेगा वो 200 मार्क्स का रहेगा, और जो टाइम अलॉटेड रहेगा इस सेक्शन के लिए क्वांटिटेटिव एबिलिटी के लिए वो रहेगा आपका 2 आवर्स का. अब इससे पहले जो हमने डिस्कस किया वो किया क्वांटिटेटिव एबिलिटी का टियर 1 जो है आपका टियर 2 का जो सिलेबस है एसएससी सीजीएल एग्जाम का. तो उस क्वांटिटेटिव एबिलिटी में जो डिफरेंट टॉपिक्स हैं वो कौन कौन से उसमें आएंगे वो भी सारे डिटेल में आपको बता दिए हैं. अब सेकंड हम फेज में शिफ्ट कर रहे हैं टियर 2 सिलेबस के लिए, वो है आपका इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज एंड कॉम्प्रिहेंशन का. इसमें जो फ्लुएंसी है, द फ्लुएंसी इन द इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज विल बी टेस्टेड ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ दिस सेक्शन. किसी भी कैंडिडेट की जो फ्लुएंसी है उसकी फ्लुएंसी ऑफ द लैंग्वेज विल बी टेस्टेड, that is on upon this section, that is English language and comprehension of the SSC CGL exam tier 2 syllabus. The basic knowledge about the English language in terms of the following topics is necessary to get good marks in this section of the tier 2 exam. तो जो basic knowledge है English language का, that is in terms of the following topics is necessary to get good marks or to score good marks in this section of the tier 2 exam. The syllabus for the reading comprehension is not specific and is added in the syllabus to check the candidates quick responses. जो comprehension है it is not specific and it is added in the syllabus to check the candidates quick response to the situations, that is to the situations. And various topics in this English language and comprehension are: first is spot the error, fill in the blanks, synonyms, antonyms, spelling detecting, misspelled words, idioms and phrases, one word substitution, improvement of sentences, active passive voice of the verbs. Next है conversion into direct indirect narration, shuffling of sentence parts, shuffling of sentence in passages, close passage and comprehension passage. Next is SSC CGL tier 2 syllabus, that is statistics. For some candidates this section might be tough and difficult. कुछ कैंडिडेट्स के लिए, जैसे हमने सेक्शन पहले किया क्वांटिटेटिव एबिलिटी का, आफ्टर दैट इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज एंड कॉम्प्रिहेंशन का. सो एज कंपेयर टू दीज 2 सेक्शंस द नेक्स्ट section is regarding the tier 2 exam syllabus is statistics ka, so that for some candidates this section might be tough and difficult for those candidates who they problem to understand this section. तो उन candidates के लिए ये section जो है वो tough है as compared to the general ability as well as English language and comprehension के, and that section is statistics. So the basic tip to get the concept clear and repetitive revision of the concept would be beneficial to grab good marks in this section too. तो इसमें जो अब हमारा बेसिक टिप है बेटे टू गेट द कंसेप्ट क्लियर, जिसमें बच्चे के कंसेप्ट भी क्लियर हो और उसका जो बेसिक टिप है एंड रिपीटेबल रिवीजन भी हो कंसेप्ट्स की, दैट वुड बी बेनिफिशियल टू ग्रैस्प गुड मार्क्स इन दिस सेक्शन. So the SSC CGL Tier 2 syllabus for statistics is described as follow. तो अब ये जो हमारा syllabus है Tier 2 का regarding the statistics, वो ये syllabus दिया गया है. पहला जो हमारा टॉपिक है that is collection, classification and presentation of statistical data. So this is the first topic of the statistics. So primary and secondary data, methods of data collection, tabulation of data, graphs and charts, frequency distributions, diagrammatic presentation of the frequency distributions. So these are the various topics under the collection, classification and presentation of the statistical data. Second is measures of central tendency, that is common measures of central tendency, mean, median and mode. So mean, median and mode. Partition values. Next is quartiles, deciles and percentiles. First is quartiles, second one is the deciles, third one is the percentiles. So measures of the central tendency, and under this topic common measures of the central tendency are mean, mode and median. Partition values हैं, quartiles हैं, deciles हैं and percentiles हैं. Next is measures of dispersion. Common measures of dispersion are range, quartile, deviations, mean deviation and standard deviation. Measures of relative dispersion. Fourth one is moments, skewness and cortices. So different types of the moments and their relationship, meanings of skewness and kurtosis, different measures of skewness and kurtosis. So these are the various topics under moments, skewness and kurtosis. After that, correlation and regression. Scatter diagram, simple correlation of coefficient, simple regression lines, Spearman's rank of correlation, measures of association of attributes, multiple regression, multiple and partial correlations for 3 variables only. Next is probability theory. Probability theory के अंदर जो various topics होंगे वो कौन कौन से रहेंगे probability theory में? पहला है what do you mean by probability या फिर meaning of probability, different definitions of probability, different types के कौन कौन से definitions हैं probability के, conditional probability क्या होती है, compound probability क्या है, independent events कौन से होंगे, आगे है आपकी Bayes theorem क्या रहेगी. नेक्स्ट है random variables and probability distributions. Random variable and probability distributions. So first is what is random variable, second is probability functions क्या रहेंगे, what are the various probability functions, acceptations and variance of random variable क्या क्या रहेंगे, higher moments of a random variable क्या होंगे, binomial, Poisson, normal and exponential distribution, joint distribution of 2 random variables, that is discrete. Next is sampling theory. क्या है? What do you mean by the term sampling theory? So concept of population and sample, parameter and statistics, sampling and non-sampling errors, probability and non-probability sampling techniques, that is simple random sampling, stratified sampling, multi-stage sampling, multi-phase sampling, cluster sampling, systematic sampling, purposive sampling, after that convenience sampling and quota sampling, sampling distribution, that is statement only, and simple size decisions. So these are the various topics under the sampling theory. Next is statistical interference or inference, not interference but inference, statistical inference. So in statistical inference, point estimation and interval estimation, properties of good estimator, methods of estimation, moments methods, maximum likelihood methods, least squares methods, testing of hypothesis, basic concepts of testing, small sample and large sample tests, tests based on ZT, chi-square and F-statistic confidence intervals. After that, analysis of variance, analysis of one-way classified data and two-way classified data. First is analysis of one-way classified data and second one is two-way classified data. So this is the analysis of variance, and in analysis of variance there are mainly two topics, that is analysis of one-way classified data and second one is two-way classified data. Next is time series analysis, and in time series analysis the topics are components of the time series, determination of trend component by different methods, measurement of seasonal variation by different methods. Next is 12, that is index numbers. So first is, what do you mean by the term index numbers? Meaning of index numbers, problems in the construction of index numbers, types of index numbers, different formula, base shifting and splicing of index numbers, cost of living index numbers, uses of index numbers. So these are the various topics under the index numbers. Next is SSC CGL Tier 2 syllabus, that is General Studies, Finance and Economics. So this section of the SSC CGL Tier 2 syllabus is divided into two parts. It is divided into two parts. One is the finance and second one is the accounts and economics. And governance, of which the subtopics are detailed or obtained below, detailed below. So this section of the SSC CGL Tier 2 syllabus is divided into two parts. One is the finance and the second one is the accounts and economics and governance, for which subtopics are detailed below. First part A, that is finance and accounts, and it is of 80 marks. Finance and accounts. This section is of 80 marks. First is financial accounting. Topics जो रहेंगे nature and scope, limitation of financial accounting, basic concept of conventions. Next is general accepted accounting principles. Next is basic concepts of accounting. What are the various concepts of the accounting? So basic concepts of accounting are: one is single and double entry. Second one is books of original entry. Third one is bank reconciliation. आगे है journal ledgers, trial balance, rectification of errors and manufacturing. So there are various topics under the accounting: single and double entry, book of original entry, bank reconciliation, journal ledgers, trial balance, rectification of errors and मैन्युफैक्चरिंग। ट्रेडिंग है, प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस, एप्रोप्रिएशन अकाउंट्स, बैलेंस शीट, distinction between capital and revenue expenditure, description on accounting, valuation of inventories, non-profit organization accounts. आगे है आपका receipts and payments and income and expenditure accounts. Next है bills of exchange and after that self-balancing ledgers. Next is part B. After the part A, next part is part B, and part B is economics and governance, and this topic or this part is of 120 marks. ये 120 marks का रहेगा. इसमें जो है आपका Comptroller and Auditor General of India, Constitutional Provisions, Role and Responsibility, Finance Commission, that is role and functions, Basic concepts of economics and introduction to microeconomics. Definition, what do you mean by this term? Scope and nature of economics, methods of economic study. After that, general, not general but central problems of an economy, and next one is production possibilities curve. Next is theory of demand and supply, meaning of. Next is theory of demand and supply, meaning and determinants of demand, law of demand and elasticity of demand, price, income and cross elasticity, theory of consumers behavior, Marshallian approach and indifference curve approach, meaning and determinants of supply, law of supply, and last is the elasticity of supply. Last one is the elasticity of supply. Next is theory of production and cost. Theory of production and cost. Meaning and factors of production, laws of production, laws of variable proportions and laws of returns to scale, forms of market and price determination in different markets. Various topics under the forms of markets and price determination in different markets are, various topics are there. First topic is various forms of the markets, that is perfect competition. Second topic is monopoly. Third topic is monopolistic competition. Fourth one is oligopoly, and the last one is price determination in these markets. Next is Indian economy. What do you mean by the term Indian economy? Nature of the Indian economy, role of different sectors, role of agriculture, industry and services, and their problems and growth. National income of India. What are the concepts of the national income? What are the different methods of measuring national income? Population, its size, rate of growth, its implication on economic growth. Next is poverty and unemployment, absolute and relative poverty, types, causes and incidence of unemployment. Last is infrastructure, energy, transportation and communication. So there are various topics under the Indian economy. Next is economy reforms in India. Various topics are economic reforms since 1991, liberalization, privatization, globalization and disinvestment. So there are various topics under the economic reforms in India. Next is money and banking. Money and banking. So under the money and banking, monetary, fiscal policy, role and functions of the Reserve Bank of India, functions of commercial banks, that is RRB, payment banks, budget and fiscal deflects and balance of payments, Fiscal Responsibility and Budget Management Act, that is under 2003, Act 2003. Next is role of information technology in governance. आफ्टर दैट मनी एंड बैंकिंग, मनी और बैंकिंग के अंदर हमारे वेरियस टॉपिक्स हैं, ठीक है। मॉनेटरी फिस्कल पॉलिसी, रोल एंड फंक्शंस ऑफ द रिजर्व बैंक ऑफ इंडिया, बजट एंड फिस्कल डिफलेक्ट्स एंड बैलेंस ऑफ पेमेंट्स, फिस्कल रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी एंड बजट मैनेजमेंट एक्ट 2003, एंड द लास्ट वन इज रोल ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन टेक्नोलॉजी इन गवर्नेंस। तो यहां पर बैठिए हमने टियर 2 का सिलेबस जो है रिगार्डिंग द एसएससी सीजीएल एग्जाम फॉर सेशन मार्च 2022 के रिलेटेड जो है वो डिस्कस किया है। और ये आपका टियर 2 का एग्जाम भी जो है ये 4 सेक्शंस में डिवाइड है। उन 4 सेक्शन के अंदर कौन कौन सा सिलेबस जो है आता है और सेक्शन किस तरह के सेक्शंस में क्वेश्चन बैंक किस तरह से रहेगा और सिलेबस का पैटर्न क्या रहेगा और सिलेबस किस तरह से रहेगा, तो ये हमने टियर 2 का जो है वो डिटेल में एसएससी सीजीएल एग्जाम का सिलेबस जो वो डिस्कस कर लिया है। टर्म 1 का या टियर 1 का सिलेबस हम ऑलरेडी पहले वाली वीडियो में डिस्कस कर चुके हैं। आज हमने टियर 2 का डिस्कस किया है। अब हमारा बचा है टियर 3 और टियर 4 का, जिसको कि हम अपनी रेस्ट अगली वीडियोस में जो है वो डिस्कस करेंगे। सो वंस अगेन गुड नाइट टू ऑल द स्टूडेंट।